This is revenue marketing raw. No fluff, no vendor pitches. Just the truth your CMO won't say out loud. Featuring Jeff Pedowitz and Dr. Debbie Qaqish. Let's go!
We are live.
Hey, Jeff, where are you today?
I'm in San Francisco.
Tell the city I said hello. You're going to be meeting you're for the CMO huddle, right?
I am, doing 3 this week with Drew and the group. We're going to be talking a lot about AI and AEO. So,
oh my God, do we ever talk about anything else these days?
It seems like we don't.
Because it permeates everything that we talk about and do.
I think we're supposed to change our names now, right? So it's be
Debbie.ai, Jeff.ai. There we go.
Not?
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about the CMO, right? And in this age of AI, and CMO has already been under violent attack over the last 5 or 6 years for all kinds of reasons. And now just add one more thing, right?
That's right. And it's so interesting that we're having this topic now. I actually saw Project Hail Mary this weekend. And one of the things, and I had read the book and I had heard the audiobook, well before the movie, but it actually did make me think about the changing role of the CMO, right? Here's a scientist that wakes up, has no idea where he is or what's going on, and he has to figure everything out and develop a totally new perspective, especially, of course, when he meets Rocky. So the CMO is in the same place. To think that their job is not changing at the speed of light because of AI, other factors as well, but specifically AI, if you don't think that's not true, then you're not really, part of the earth right now. I don't know where you are. You're drinking or high or something, right? So let's talk about the role of the CMO and how it is morphing, evolving, and changing because of AI. So what are one of the key factors that you're seeing, Jeff?
Well, I think there's probably 5 that I want to dive into today.
I have like 4 or 5 more.
All right, so we're going to cover 27 things today.
27 things, that's right.
Well, I think it's an ongoing battle, but the identity crisis that the CMO faces, that's one. And who are they? What do they stand for? How do they do their job? What is the job? Second, the ongoing budget war, which has now taken an interesting new twist, because of AI. I think 3, and you and I have been covering this the last few weeks, the humanity and all this, right? And where do you focus your efforts on your people?
Yeah, the human factor becomes so much more important in this world of AI. It's not less. It's even more.
No, it's more. It's even more.
It's absolutely more.
We'll
Okay.
get into that. Boardroom pressures, both realistic and unrealistic expectations, and then the new stack. What does the new stack look like?
Yeah. And then before you go, I actually had a few things because I was also interested in the angle of how do CMOs manage differently as leaders, right? So we can kind of
train and develop people differently when you're not even hiring kids out of school anymore because AI is doing all these entry jobs. There's so many different factors.
Oh yeah.
I wish we would need 20 hours to go.
We would need 20 hours, but since we're on that one, let's start with that. And so, for example, how we always think about one of the things that AI helps us all do better is know our customer and have real-time personalization at scale, always on. Well, guess what? As a manager, you have to be thinking about performance coaching that's live. You don't have to wait until the end of the month, wait for a campaign to have gone through 27 cycles to see how things went. The coaching and the feedback that you're giving to your team is going to be more spot coaching. It's going to be more live coaching. And that coaching should also be highly driven by the individual who is seeking that coaching. But it's live now. You don't have to wait. And
Real time, right time.
Real time, right time. That's exactly right. So this whole thing, performance review and wait till the end of the month and the end of the quarter, that's hooey. Baby, you've covered so much ground by then.
Right now. And we've talked about this where we're all now objectively using it. Hey, rate my performance after this call. How did I do? What could I have done better? We talked about this a little bit last week. What should I have asked? These are all tools that a CMO could use.
But it's also because you have more immediate feedback on things. If you're having real-time personalization at scale with customers, you don't have to wait very long to say what's working, what's not working, what can we do better, right? So again, this idea of how do you go in and get coached on something, or how do you improve something? There's no waiting time now. It's not like stand back and wait. It's like, okay, it's moving now. So how do we tweak this thing? How do we coach, as this thing is happening? That's a very different coaching and feedback dynamic for a team.
It very much is. And that just really changes the dynamics of not only how you're giving that feedback, but expectations. And again, the humanity part of it. If technology is doing more, then in theory and ideally in practice, you should have more time than to be present. But I think what's been happening is still the opposite. CMOs and marketers by trade tend to be reactive versus proactive. I'm not saying all CMOs are reactive, but the nature of the job most of the time forces them to be, because they are just spinning off of all these different requests when they would much rather be in control. So I think this is an opportunity to reframe your leadership style, your management style, and knowing that AI is giving your team time back, be intentionally present and driving more of that quality time with your people.
Jeff, every week we have this conversation.
We do.
Is AI really going to give you more quality time? Well, hopefully it will. And the coaching is a great example because, again, you're not waiting 30 days or the end of a quarter to give someone feedback, right? That feedback mechanism is almost happening like in real time because, again, the data that you're getting and the result that you're getting is coming that much faster. But yes, hopefully it should be more thoughtful coaching. But this notion of coaching and feedback, again, I just want to say, you fill it out, I fill it out. It's the end of the quarter. That's for the birds.
That's been stale for a long time anyway.
Companies still do that, Jeff.
They do. You're right. They still do that. But look, I think if you treat AI like any other technology disruption or innovation, we'll just get our team to be more productive. We'll just do more within an hour. Well, then you're right, Deb. Then you're not going to have any more time because the expectations are going to be that you could just do more with less and go faster.
That's right.
But that does have at some point a diminishing rate of return.
Yeah,
I know that. Health, stress and well-being, but
it absolutely does. I know that one of your items was the budget war. So how does that? How is AI affecting the CMO and the budget war? Is it helping or hurting?
It's hurting because now, and it's an interesting dichotomy. Because of AI, there's this expectation: get rid of even more technology, get rid of more people. So there's even more budget pressure. At the same time, because the software vendors have been reluctant to move away from token-based pricing. Businesses have been reluctant to spend too much on AI because it's been unpredictable. So there's really this interesting kind of shift back and forth. But from a CMO's perspective, the dollars aren't coming back. And if anything, they're shifting a little bit. So how do you be even more nimble? And how do you leverage the tools at your disposal to be able to drive better outcomes? So I think we're definitely seeing a budgetary impact. We're seeing the major software vendors get thrashed on stock price, even though financially they're doing great. Salesforce had one of its best years ever, but their stock price is getting thrashed. HubSpot's stock price getting thrashed, but they're also doing really well. Why? Well, because the market is looking at where things are going. And what's happening now is we're getting to a point, Deb, where you don't even have to log into any of the software anymore. You could just type to Slack or to ChatGPT or whatever, and it just does the shit for you.
I just want to put on my glasses and get a cranial connection. That's all I want to do.
We're almost there, though. I mean, so, if you've spent your whole world as a software vendor building up features and capabilities and designing your interface so people come into your moat and stay in the moat, and now someone doesn't ever have to come in ever. Yeah. They just need capability. Then how is your platform better than any other open source capability that the AI can connect to?
We've said this for over 2 years. The way we think about software has changed forever. These models are now starting to die. They are no longer going to work for the future, and the software companies just have to figure out a new way. I'll say this about the budget war as well, and I think we've spoken a little bit about this before. Instead of just thinking about budget from how can I work with a lower budget and associating AI all the time with saving money, what about the CMO stepping up and thinking about ways where AI can help growth, where it can create more revenue? I mean, that's a switch that they really need to take because, again, CEOs are seeing this as a way to save money everywhere, not just in marketing, but especially in marketing, because really, how hard is that, right? But if a CMO could step up and say, we've done the cost savings, but where the real big difference for our company comes is how we can use AI for growth and for revenue. That is the conversation that the new CMO needs to be bringing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think because really the unlock with efficiency only goes so far. Sure, you can save some money, and yes, you can get rid of some headcount. And then what, right? What's your go-to-market and how does it change? Are there new revenue models? Are there new customer segments? Are there new product or service offerings? Are there new partnerships that you can leverage? And that is absolutely where, I've always talked about the CMO being the chief change agent, for the company.
Absolutely.
And what better time, what better way to establish that? I think the flip side of this too is, even before AI, there's been this big move to get away from full-time CMOs, although many companies still have it. But we've seen a huge uplift in fractional. Deb, how does a fractional CMO then take advantage of AI to be more effective? And what does that role look like?
I think it's a great advantage for the fractional CMO because why are they brought in? Because the management team, the executive team needs to hear something or do something that they can't do themselves. So a lot of times a fractional CMO can come in and bring a different message rather than saying, let's just take the example of how low can we go? How much less budget can we spend because of AI? The fractional CMO has the opportunity to walk in because he has the ear of the leadership team. That's why they bring them on board to say, how can we use AI for growth? And what is the role of marketing in that? And then lead the way. Marketing has led the way in technology and digital ever since we really became digital. They're the first part of the company that does any of these kinds of things. And I think especially sales needs to be led that way. Right now, and we talked about sales last time, they got a little tool here, a little tool here, a little tool, it's just everybody's is kind of all scrambled up. So I think there's a real opportunity for a fractional CMO to lead with how can we grow with AI versus how can we just, get a lower level. I also think that the fractional CMO can help the organization reimagine, for example, the org structure. I don't think we're going to continue to see these lines that we've always seen, just solid black and white. I think we're going to see functional pods that are working more on business outcomes versus just, I have to write content. I have to send out an email. I have to do PR. So I think that if you take a look at all the different ways that AI can affect an organization and how it affects the role of the CMO, really a strategic fractional CMO will come in there and not just maybe help get rid of some costs, but also reimagine the role of AI in marketing and what marketing needs to be moving forward. And we've talked about many aspects of that.
Yeah, so in a lot of ways, traditional org charts, even flat ones, are hierarchical, right? They follow some degree of structure or formality or spans of control. Then we see things like centers of excellence that cut across, or shared services that cut across. In an age of AI, with what you described, is this more of like an amoeba model or an S-curve or something that is...
I love the idea of an amoeba model. I absolutely love that. There has to be a degree of flexibility, agility, and experimentation in marketing organizations that simply are not there today. So another role of the CMO of the future today and moving forward is to have that agility and to have that experimentation within marketing. Again, we've become so rigid and so responsive. Marketing has had little ability, again, to be agile and to do that experimentation. But in the age of AI, where we're moving from doing things to producing outcomes because we can now, I think that becomes something that is absolutely essential for today's CMO to think about.
So then how do you, practically provide guidance on an amoeba model? What would that look like, Deb?
It's all about, you said it before, human performance. The employees of the future in marketing will have some attributes that the employees today do not. And those attributes are going to be, as AI does the grunt work, so to speak, right? Then the employees that are left in marketing, they've got to be thinkers, not doers, right? So they have to be able to think about, based on how this is happening, then what can we do next? What is the potential here? How do we continue to ladder up and use AI as a way to grow our business, create better experiences for our customers, and also to make money, of course. So I think when you think about it like that, Jeff, it becomes a very different phenomenon.
So yeah, and I'm just thinking about this amoeba model, right? So if you think about it's
the people like in the model, they got to be trained.
The people in the model, and what does it look like? What's at the center? And then
the center, the center's outcomes. One of the things that you and I have talked about, oh my God, Jeff, for years, since we've known each other, since 2004, is how sales, customer success, and marketing needs to have that one view of the customer. AI is getting us closer to that than we've ever before. So in an amoeba model, it could be, you could have a pod that included sales, customer success, and marketing. And they're based on a particular outcome. It could be a particular product area. It could be, any of those things. But people have to be smart enough and trained to work with that kind of flexibility, right? So it's kind of
like what we have in consulting to a degree, right? Because it's abstract with the clients and the needs that are changing. So I think what you're describing is, because if it's outcome driven, the outcome changes, right? So the nucleus is the outcome.
That's right.
And then your role is temporary, not permanent. So you may be the content role on this pod outcome, but on the next one, you could be playing a very different role because the outcome demands something.
That's
different.
exactly right. So
and then it's AI that connects that, right? It's connected.
Exactly. Because again, AI is allowing us to do things that we've never been able to do before. Ergo, the people who are managing that, they have to be organized differently. It's kind of like if we take our center of excellence idea and it's on steroids, but it's just always in flux. That's why I like your amoeba.
How everyone says, well, send me your org chart. Now it'd be like, well, do you want one from yesterday?
Today, that's exactly right. Yeah. And the people who step into these roles, I said they have to be thinkers, right? They have to be based on the outcome. They can't be just, well, tell me what to do and I'll do this. The lower level kind of, grunt worker, doer bees, those are going away because of AI. And so the power of AI to allow a team to come together and do this is just it's kind of mind-blowing right now. So yes, an amoeba model, again, not just in marketing, but for if you just think about the customer-facing organizations and how hard that's been to do through the years, Jeff, it's becoming more of a reality every day. And so new structures, new ways to manage people, new types of people to hire, new skills that are going to be required, including collaboration, working in teams, and consulting.
It's a brave new world.
It's a brave new world. Yes, it is.
To me, I think for all the challenges marketing has had over the years, and there have been many, there's also so many opportunities now. Businesses still need to grow. They need new customers. They need revenue. We still have to engage and tell our stories. We have to connect. We have to educate. The channels are changing. The mechanisms are changing. It doesn't go away because of AI. It changes because of AI. So I think it's just more a matter of adapting to a new world, and with AI as being this lever. But I still think that CMOs can thrive if they're prepared to change themselves.
I completely and totally agree with that. And I also think that the knowledge bank in the technology arena that a CMO needs to have in the age of AI is different. I remember a few years ago, this was a while ago, I had not seen this one VP for a time, and we met to have lunch. And the old CMO that I knew, she couldn't tell you a single piece of technology she had. And when we met for lunch that day, oh my gosh, that's all she talked about. She must have, listed 30 different systems, and things that they were using. Well, nobody will need that shit moving forward, right?
No, that text. All you're going to need is an LLM in Slack or Teams or something, because it can connect to various different ecosystems, both inside and outside your enterprise.
That's exactly right, because the new role is that you really are the head of a high performance AI team. That's really what you're going to be doing. That's what it's going to be.
Your single biggest technology spend within 2 years is probably going to be with OpenAI or Claude or Gemini versus Salesforce or HubSpot or whatever.
Oh my God, Jeff, that's blasphemy right there.
I know, but that's the reality. That's
now you're in San Francisco, you might get a slap down while you're out there.
I just might. I hear a knocking on my door already. I think they're coming for me. But no, that's the reality, though. That's where the world's going. So
it is.
I think it's how do you democratize, socialize, and create effective modules that can be leveraged across multiple different AI touch points, so that every client within their industry can tailor and pick the right components that they need to execute. And your cost is just shifting. You're going to be moving to AI and token-based consumption versus just flat legacy licensing models. They just don't have a place anymore. They don't.
And I'm going to go back to this new role that we were talking about, kind of trying to give it a name. I think CMOs are going to be more architects, right? Of business, of growth, of outcomes, of performance, rather than, oh my gosh, I need all these emails, I need all these systems, I need to know all of these different things. They really have to have a view of what's happening today and in the future. And Jeff, I think they have to be incredible change agents. That's the last thing. I mean, I think this is kind of where we, end it, because we're at 23 minutes now, but they have to be change agents for the future. And it affects every single part of the marketing organization.
Be brave, be brilliant. So that's what it's all about, right?
That's exactly right.
Another good session, Deb. So thank you.
Well, have a great time out there in San Francisco. Tell all our CMO friends I said hello, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next week.
Bye.